There we go. Happy full moon, happy full moon, happy full moon, everybody. Hi, Tiffany. Hello, my darlings. I'm so happy. So we've got some copal burning here. We just had our incredible sacred alchemy class with the ancestors. Wow. I mean, it's just literally wow. Brittany texted me the other day. She's just blowing my mind. They're giving us this Mayan wisdom. We're following the Mayan day signs and going deep into the energies and then receiving all these mystical activations and words. So happy 13 Eek. 13 is a very mystical, magical day. And Eek is the day of wind in all senses of the word, breath. And it is, of course, the full moon. It's the Taurus full moon. So welcome. We're going to have a little celebration today. Last week on the Samhain, you may know that I had two beautiful guests, Judith and Shannon. And before we got to them, I lost internet for 10 hours, by the way. So it was a good thing. We were sitting over here going, did we just stay? We're started in an hour. And finally we just, so it was wonderful because I was thinking, well, how do we get these beautiful women back on? And it was like, well, the full moon. So we will be starting. I'm going to start with a full moon abundance activation. So I'm going to give you a little bit of info about the full moon. There's not a lot there. It's actually a super full moon, which means it's much stronger in all the aspects of what a full moon does for us. And it illuminates, it's the harvest, right? It is all of that, but it also it's Taurus, which is the sign of material wealth, okay? And it's a super full moon, and a moon is ripe. Full moon is about what's ripe. Well, you're harvesting the juicy fruits of your labors. So it's a very abundant, materially abundant kind of energy that we're in. Now, we do have a little bit of Black Moon Lilith, and I adore her. If you don't know who Lilith is, let me get a sip here. Lilith is the first wife of Adam, apparently, before Eve. And she said, no, I don't want to do this. I'm going to be independent, and went out on her own. And was written up in many different, non-complimentary ways, as most women in history were. There's an aspect in astrology called Black Moon Lilith. And she does have that mystical, deep, dark kind of energies, not dark bad, but willing to go into the dark, willing to accept all of you, and those kind of really beautiful concepts. So let's dive in. Hi. Hi. Oh, that moon is ginormous. It's my baby. Wow. I'm so glad. See you later, sweetie. I shared some pictures. I on Facebook, I think, and into my classes of last night, the full moon rising over the ocean. Wow. It was just super wow. And super moon means it's close. So we have 3 supermoons in a row. And that creates a pattern, that creates a rhythm, right? Energetically, astrologically, spiritually speaking, spiritual weather-wise speaking, that creates a pattern, and we're in that pattern. So I just love the Mayan sacred calendar, the day signs and the numbers, a very different way of looking at the energies that we're in from any other kind of astrology. And I love Western astrology, and I love Chinese astrology. So we're in the snake year, we're shedding, we're doing all of that earth energy, but it's also wood, green wood, new growth. We're going to go into a fire year, okay? Very fast year, the horse year, yang energy. It always alternates, masculine or yang, yin. This is a yin year. And so what we've got right now is ending the year with 3 super full moons is quite a pattern. Okay, so you could think about how you want to harness that pattern. This is the middle one. We had a super full moon, and we'll have the next one will be in December. And so when you have the super full moon, it just amplifies everything. And moon in Western astrology typically represents your wishes, okay? This is your desires and your wishes, emotion. Of course, we see it as sacred feminine energy as well. And I see it as something that reflects. Hi, Cheryl. Right? Something that reflects. It's the feminine that receives, being that very receptive energy, receives the sun. soaks it in, and then radiates out her glory, her beauty. And of course, our beautiful Ishel is always pouring the sacred moonlight onto us and giving us that. So we're going to go into the abundance activation. And then we have Judith Shaw here, and she's the creator of the Celtic Goddess Oracle. So we're going to play with that a little bit. And then we're going to have a beautiful sound bath with Shannon Brown. Okay, so let me share my slides here. Oh, let's see which one I got. Okay, that's the right one. No, that's not. Yeah, that is the right one, but I don't think I'm in the right place. There we go. Okay, good. So today being the full moon, actually on the full moon, you know that it affects us several days before, several days after. So any kind of full moon magic that you're doing, you can draw on those energies for many more days. And today, tonight is a great day to put out your jars of water to collect this. This is a super full moon, a Taurus full moon, and a very abundant full moon. So that is going to be a very specific, nice energy. And if you do collect water from moons, different moons, remember to tag them so you know what the energies are. Some energies you don't want for certain things, right? So Black Moon Lilith is kind of coming in a little bit and just saying to us that it's time to have that courage to be independent, to speak for yourself, to go out on your own, and to have your own wealth, to have your own freedom, to have your own abundance, and to shine, and to let this super full, fullness be a welcome, an invitation for you to step into yourself even more profoundly. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Oh, yes, we have a beautiful, the Taurus Full Supermoon is grounding, abundant, sensual, and deeply nourishing. And it's a lunar magnifier of wealth for some of the reasons I mentioned, healing, earth magic, and embodiment. And the sacred circle that we're having today is going to be like a multisensory divination thing because it's a great day for divination. It is a wind day and a very mystical day of 13 for the Maya. Those all come into the energies that we're working with, okay? So we'll get back in a minute to meet up with Judith Shaw. She's the creator of the Celtic Oracle Goddess deck. And we're going to get some beautiful messages about that. And right now, I'm going to take you into an invocation, some kind of a guided activation for harnessing this abundant energy of the full moon and activating our temple and our pathways and whatever else is optimal at this time. So this is just to give you a reminder. These are the kinds of things that it's fine to ask for. Look where your ego is getting in the way of the manifestation of something. You're like, why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? I haven't again. I've been asking for it. I've been working hard. You're kicking it away. Let's just say that. That's what my classes are, is teaching you how to manifest now in the now, because if you use the divine laws against you, you're always going to be kicking away. Oh, there it is. No, it's not here. No, it's not here. No, it's not here. So this is the time to say, I'm ready to feel abundant and to realize everything is at my fingertips. It's already created for me. The universe is here to give me what I want. I'm here to live my mission. It's a perfect balanced system. And I am going to allow myself to feel safe, to receive, to be supported. And don't take these out of context, because a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire. It's like, you don't have to be a millionaire. Okay, this doesn't mean you have to be greedy. You have to go run after things. You don't have to be any person you've seen on the news or some horrible show about greedy, mean people who all they care about is materialistic wealth and are willing to kill each other for it. You are here to create a world of abundance from harmony and peace and time and beauty and nature and bringing your creative self up. You are a divine creator. We need you to be creating from your place, okay? So the powerful moon is very, very fertile because it's the new moon, we plant seeds, and the full moon, we harvest the seeds. But of course, some things could be coming to fruition in your life that you started 50 years ago, 2 days ago, 4 months ago, this morning, okay? Everything has its own timing. I want to share something really important. It's 12:12. How nice is that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I love signs and symbols from the universe, and we're always being blessed all the time in every moment with the most amazing guidance and blessings and things to help us listen, become centered, become magical, be that magical person. So there is something that you've been denying yourself. I don't know where this is coming from, so we're just, I'm a channel or whatever you want to say. Whoa, my crown is on fire. So we're going to go with this. It's something that you've been denying yourself. And it is so profound. It is so deep. It is affecting so much of your life that you have created limitations and lacks and walls and a lot of work and a lot of years and a lot of struggle. And it isn't anything that you should feel bad about or guilty about or afraid of, but that prison is in your head, it's in your forehead, and it needs to come out. It is limiting everything. It is old, it is rusted, it needs to be released, it needs to be lifted up and out, and this full moon cannot rise within you. And this is pure magic. This is pure magic moon that manifests instantly, but only through belief, only through embodiment, only through releasing the old rusty structure of this prison in your brain, in your mind, in your head. You must release it now. You must release it now. I mean, I'm having a really intense experience, and this is for everybody. So whatever you're feeling is good. And you're struggling with your crown. 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 What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Is a crown evil? Is it good? Is it somebody's power over you? Does it make you feel like you're being bad if you claim that you're sovereign, if you claim that you're regal, if you claim that you're royal, if you claim that you're the authority of your life, if you claim that you can have everything you want, if you claim your abundance, if you enjoy your abundance, if you receive your abundance? What is inside of you that is keeping you from wanting it, from keeping it, from feeling safe with it? If you don't feel safe, you won't let it in. If you don't see yourself having it, the universe won't give it. There is nothing you can do if you keep the prison up, if you keep the poverty there. It could protect you, but it isn't anymore. Your abundance is needed. Your abundance is so required for you to step into the next level. And the best way to do that is to step onto your path. Step and say, yes, what is calling you right now? What is calling you right now? What door is open to you that you said, oh my gosh, that looks great, but no, I can't. And fear came up, and time came up, and money came up, and people came up. What is it that is there? It is the invitation from spirit. If it is there, there is a way. There's no way for there not to be a way. Why are you staring at the way that there isn't there? You must release yourself from this prison. You cannot own the crown of your truth, which becomes antennas that literally grow beautifully in a pattern they already know how to become. Because you have within you the blueprint of your divine self, the potential, and it knows every step of the way. It knows every step. This is the spiral. The spiral is unfolding. You are in the spiral. You're being held. You're being uplifted. You are just simply flowing up the spiral. If you would stop trying and stop struggling, stop blaming, and stop all of the stories. Breathe out peace and harmony and beauty and grace and creativity and fun and laughter and love and joy and gratitude and reverence and all of the serenity you could possibly imagine. All of the peace, all of the nature, all of the beauty. Do you love to speak to the eagle, the wind, the waters, the dolphins? Do you love to speak with the grandmothers, to feel the tree, to sense the fairies? Do you love all the unseen realms? Because they love you. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? I am here to shine a light that you could pick up. But this is a light that you must take the responsibility for. If you do not do it, no one can. If you do not take it, no one can. There is no way for you to become who you are unless you see it, unless you embody it, unless you taste it, unless you speak it, unless you feel it, because you are the GPS signal. You are the center. This prison is keeping your signal going in and out and in and out, and your words go in and out and in and out and in and out. But I'm here to shine on everything, because your crown is not only the crown for the light parts of you, it's the crown for all of you. It wants to use the wisdom in the dark and in the pain and in the fear and in the anxiety and in the past. And it wants to remember the times when you were too prideful, or you spoke hurtful words, or other people abused you. All of these hold power. They hold nothing over you. And they will only return to you if you think about them, and you worry about them, and you hate them, and you feel emotion towards them, and you speak about them, and you talk about them, and you tell your story again and 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 again. And then you wake up and say, why isn't my love here? Why isn't that job of beauty and sacredness here? Why aren't the clients here? Why don't I feel peaceful today? Why don't I enjoy every moment like a sacred gift from the divine? The stories of the ancestors are dead because they are filled with pain and lack. And the stories of the ancestors of the beginning, they are here to speak blessings over you, to remind you that you are love and light, only love and only light. There is no darkness within you. The darkness is for healing. The darkness is for birthing. The darkness is for nurturing and resting and all forms of beautiful alchemical experiences. And you always want the darkness within you because you live in a body, in a duality, in a polarity. You can't go anywhere else. You can't do it any other way. Otherwise, go back to the unseen realms. Work from there. It's fine. You made a promise to come here, but if you don't want to do it, you have free will. You made a promise to come here, and it wasn't to pay your bills and to feel less than and to feel worryful and sorry and distracted and less than. None of those, including poverty and punishment and hard work, were ever meant to be a part of your truth. But do you know who you are? You see now, because the full moon was resting on your head. The way you see the sun discs on those heads in ancient Egypt and other cultures. The moon, the full moon. Dear beloved Luna, the moon goddess sitting, the rabbit, they're watching you with softness and grace, sitting on your crown, nestled into your crown. What do you think of your crown? Do you judge your crown? Do you judge whether you're good enough to be the authority of your life? Do you judge whether you'll fail, whether others will like you? Do you let the mirror outside of you tell you? Or do you tell it? Where is your power? We are here, and we have illuminated your crown, because today is a day of great mystical magic, a day of great abundance. We call into the sacred circle and acknowledge the temple of light above and below us, this full moon temple of the moon maidens. We ask, we receive, and we give great thanks to every manifestation of the moon and the moon mother and the moon grandmother and the moon goddess and the moon, the man in the moon and the rabbit in the moon and the magic in the moon and the portal in the moon and the moon maidens. In this beautiful temple, you are welcomed by a long line of maidens in silver gowns, and you can surrender and walk the path, looking at your feet, barefoot, gentle on this crystal marble floor. There's water reflecting on both sides of you, and along this marble path is lined on both sides with the moon maidens, holding in their hands beautiful full moons. You walk along. You receive their medicine, their blessing, their guidance. Occasionally, one reaches out and places some moon magic in your hands, in your heart, in your throat, in your eye, in your mind, in your brain, in your belly. Gently walk the path of the moon maidens. Let yourself enjoy, feel all that you wish for, all that you've ever desired. The wishes are here. And what they do for you, what they know, these are your wishes. The moon maidens are giving them back to you. They are allowing you to receive your own wishes that you forgot, that you gave up on. But they say, no, you want to own your sovereignty. You want to step into your spiritual maturity. You want to become the sacred creator that you came here to be. We are very happy and we are here to support you. And we will do it in every moment, in every moment. There will never be a lack of our support. However, you must allow yourself to receive. So as you now reach the end of this pathway, having received the energies, the blessings, the whispers, the maidens have asked you to reflect on your heart's desires. They have illuminated your emotions because your emotions hold the desires in frozen state of a belief of lack, that it's not time, that you can't have. And today the sacred wind of Ik blows through, letting those emotions they've illuminated be cleared and cleansed. Breathe in a sacred breath. Breathe in the abundance that's around you and within you, and draw down from the moon in your crown all the way to your root. Let the breath go as you release the stories of lack and see clarity all around you. They dance, they sing. And now you are here. You have arrived in the beautiful temple of the full moon ceremony. You look around. You see your sisters, you see the other priestesses, you see the sacred wise ones, you see everyone who's come together to gather for this beautiful moment, to receive these divine energies, these divine messages. Dance and sing and free yourself. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, you can look at the magical maidens of the moon. This is from the Prosperity Magic Oracle deck. All right. So welcome everyone. Hi Marnie. Hi Cheryl. Hi everybody again. Tiffany. So welcome. It was a beautiful way to start the full moon. I loved seeing it rise over the ocean. Doesn't always in that position. So it was such a blessing, and I will be tracking that again tonight. Just know that even if we can't see it, just like everything else, it's already here. And so wonderful. So now I want to bring our beautiful guest, Judith Shaw, and let's jump into, let me bring her onto the stage. Hi, Judith.
Hi.
So wonderful to have you here.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. And much of what we're going to talk about, what I'll be talking about, relates so much to the meditation that you just led.
Of course, right? We're all aligned. So thank you. Judith was so kind to come on Friday, and she was there. And then my internet went out, and it was out for 10 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So we made the right decision to say, let's just wait. And then it was so beautiful to look into having the full moon today. So we're sort of having a Samhain celebration because Shannon is going to be bringing that energy back in, which was only a few days ago. And you're an amazing artist and a goddess woman. And I want to share I'm not sure if I have your website. What is your website? Where do people find you?
Oh, it's there below my name, judithshawart.com.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Here, I do have it. So I'm just going to pop the screen here. And so do you want to, I want you to tell us about your deck and why you're into the Celtic goddesses. I just got back from my retreat with the, what am I looking for now? Here. In Glastonbury, we did so much beautiful Celtic goddess work. I'm Celtic. My blood is Celtic and everything. And then introduce us to your deck. And then, do you want people to pop up and ask for card readings, or do you want to do one for the whole group, or how would you like that?
Well, I was going to do one for the whole group.
Okay.
After I talk a little bit about Samhain and how the Celtic goddesses figure into that.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, good. So here you can see, here is Judith's website. And of course, if it's not below here in YouTube, it will be. And make sure you go subscribe at nanakasha.com because we send out all the notices. And if we haven't already, but in the replay for sure, we'll have Judith's email. So she's a New Orleans. Oh, that's such a really unusual place to be from. You know, it's one of those things like, is anybody actually from there? A New Orleans native and graduate of the San Francisco Art Institute. Oh, that's so fun. One of my daughters went to one of the art institutes in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
And has always been interested in myth, culture, and mysticism. Ooh, yeah, my favorite. Her work, inspired by nature, ancient wisdom, and the goddess, combines whimsy and the esoteric. Just love this. It's all perfect. You live in Albuquerque, which is super exciting. I used to live in Albuquerque.
Oh, did you?
I lived there for a long time. I adopted my twins there.
Wow.
I had my daughter there. I lived in Corrales. And
it's kind of like New Orleans in a way. It's very quirky.
Very unusual. People are drawn there and then they're spit out. And that's kind of how it happened. Such a magical place. I really can't wait to go back. Oh my gosh. Green chilies, I could just go on. So it is the land of enchantment. If anybody feels, I keep wanting to do a retreat there because to me, it is one of the most sacred, enchanting, wonderful places.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're going to have to talk about that.
Yeah, we should do something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been back too, but I used to be able to see the balloon festival. I'm sure it's grown and maybe moved by now, but I lived up the hill in Corrales and I could see the balloon festival, like where it would go, and they would fly over my house and they'd land in my road and I'd help them, and it was just such an incredible experience. So in Albuquerque, what an inspiring place to be, spiritual, to be an artist, right? You divide your time between painting, writing, yoga, gardening, riding your bike. In Albuquerque's Cottonwood Forest, the Bosque. I love the Bosque. And hanging out with friends and family. And you've also lived in Mexico and in Greece. Oh my God, you're my sister. Where the goddess first began to appear in your work. That was my earliest memories. Earlier than 3 was Greece. Remembering being an oracle in Greece.
Wow.
And let's get to the goodies. So
Yeah.
she's the author and illustrator of the Celtic Goddess Oracle and the Animal Wisdom Oracle deck, and Elena and the Reindeer Goddess, and a magical winter solstice mission. Wow. So I'm so excited that we met and that you're here, and I so appreciate you coming back. So go ahead and tell us all about yourself.
Well, you did a pretty good job right there. I don't know if there's too much more that I can add without taking like a few days. Uh, but I will say that I'm a Gemini with Scorpio rising, and transformation has been in my life, my entire life. It's always dying to the old and being born to the new. And I think that's maybe part of the reason I'm so drawn to the ancient wisdom, because it goes so deep down into our past and the things that we have experienced and had to let go of and then be born anew. And yeah. And so if it's okay, I'll just move on then to talking a little bit about Samhain.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So I just want to remind everybody that a few days ago, right, it was what people typically call Halloween, Day of the Dead, All Hallows Eve, Soul, whatever culture that you're tuned into. Samhain is my favorite by far, because I spent 16 years in the Reformed congregation of the goddess, doing all the rituals and everything for all the ceremonies. And Samhain is a really important part of the Wheel of the Year. And we are still in the energies of the dark, of the ancestors, of going down, right, until solstice and all of that. So beautiful. Thank you. Yes, please share.
Okay. Well, before really even getting into Samhain, I just wanted to speak for a moment about how the ancient Celts had such a completely different view of their place in the world than we do today. They really honored the darkness. They had a strong belief in reincarnations and saw death as simply a point of transition in a very long series of ongoing lives. And they honored the darkness of both night and winter as starting points. And so in the Celtic worldview, a day began at sunset, not sunrise. And the new year began on Samhain, October 31st, the midpoint between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. It means summer's end, and it's the time of year when the veil between our everyday world and the other world is at its thinnest, creating the best opportunity for communication with divine beings and the spirits of the dead. Many myths tell of mortals and the goddesses and gods crossing over into each other's realms on Samhain for various reasons, like love, protection, mutual aid, and much more. It is one of the four great fire festivals of Celtic tradition, which might have begun long before the Celts even arrived in Ireland under the influence of an ancient goddess, Tlachta. She was most likely from the time of the Fair Bolach, the Bronze Age inhabitants of Ireland from the east, and later incorporated into the Celtic pantheon. And the whole thing of honoring the dark and the new year beginning as we move into the darkness and the day beginning at sunset, I think really recognizes a very important aspect of life, which had come up in your meditation, that really life begins in the dark, in the womb, in an egg before it cracks, and the seeds under the earth in the darkness of the ground. So they really knew something that we're missing out on, I think, now. But back to Tlachta, and I'm very sorry, but I can't show you my painting of her because I don't have the original and I couldn't get my printer to work and print out a print.
That's okay. It's wonderful seeing your beautiful paintings in the background.
Oh, thank you. But she is, you can just go look at her on my website. You'll find her there. She's under the prints. But anyway, her name translates as Earth Sphere, and she was associated with both sun and lightning. She created a magical pillar stone, which represents lightning. And she was very, very powerful, and people believed it could blind whoever gazed at it, deafen those who heard it, and kill all who touched it. The pillar stone gave Shlakta the ability to kindle fire from the darkness. And that must have been such an amazing feat to the people back then who could only get fires started when lightning struck. They didn't know how to start fire. She was the daughter of Magruith. Forgive me if any of my Gaelic pronunciations are wrong. And legend states that he was a powerful blind druid of Munster who could grow to gigantic size, cause storms with his breath, and turn men to stone. Well, the early stories of Shlakta are lost to us now. However, as is the case with so many of the ancient goddesses, her legend that endures most strongly comes to us from the times of early Christianity. Legend reports that she and her father spent time in Italy where they were studying with the magician Simon Magus. But unfortunately, while there, Shlakta was raped by the three sons of Simon Magus, another familiar theme in the patriarchal retelling of goddess stories. But powerful goddess that she is, she took this outrage and transformed it into a positive for her community. She returned to Ireland, where she gave birth to triplet sons on what would become the hill of Shlakta. And then she died from the effort. She was buried there, and her sons went on to become great chieftains or great druids, depending on the telling. It was said that while their names are remembered, no harm would come to Ireland. The hill of Shlakta, where earthworks were created over Shlakta's grave, is now known as the Hill of Ward. It dates from around 200 AD, and it's here where the tribes gathered on Samhain night to honor their ancestors, give thanks for another successful harvest, and celebrate the new year with horse races, fairs, markets, assembly rites, political discussion, and ritual mourning for the passage of summer. So they weren't like sad about winter coming. They were celebrating and mourning the passage of summer. The work of planting and harvesting was over, and the people were facing the long, dark time of winter. Only Shlakta's fires could burn on this night, promising the people safe passage through the time of darkness and mystery, leading to rebirth in the spring. Over time, the ceremony became known as the Druid ceremony, the Buran Sauna, the ceremony of death and rebirth. Each family would light torches to take back to their own hearth fires to rekindle their fires for the year. And Samhain celebrations are still held at the Hill of Shlakta today. I think there was a period when they weren't being held there, but there's a real resurgence in an appreciation of their ancient traditions in the Celtic world, and so they're going on again. And then there is another ancient goddess who I wanted to share with you, who has a story related to Samhain.
Okay. Can you spell that for us? The goddess you just talked about, Shlakta. Could you spell that for everybody? And I'll stick it here.
Sure. It does not relate at all to the way it's pronounced. It's Tlachttga.
Okay. That's Gaelic, yeah?
Yeah. A lot of consonants always, right?
Yeah, I know. It's always interesting. That was one that I never had quite too. And I love that there's this resurgence. You do see this a lot. And it's one reason I love to go to England for retreats is that, yes, there's limits, like you can only go to Stonehenge now in certain times and whatever. However, compared to where I live, they understand people want to come to these places. And so they open Stonehenge on the equinox, and they just say, as many people who want to come for free and go wherever you want, do whatever you want. I mean, that's pretty friggin' amazing to me.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I love that that's one place you can go and actually not only with other people, but get access.
And that's interesting. I just how we always hear about Stonehenge, and it's about the sun and the summer solstice.
Moon.
I have been hearing, that it's really about the moon.
Yeah.
as is the Callanish stones in Scotland. It's all about the moon.
Yeah, yeah. I work with Maria Wheatley, who's like wrote the book The Secrets of Stonehenge and lives there and does that, and she's a dowser, and we went into Stonehenge private access, and she understands where the original temples were, where you originally entered, what the stones are made out of, what they were done, whether a woman or man shaped them. We were able to come in and go on the high altar, just our group, and do an activation. But it's so amazing, like you said, because she said, well, yeah, okay, the sun kind of aligns, but the moon does this, and there's many alignments. There's many alignments.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a wonderful time to be alive, because we can connect like this. There's places we can go. We can connect to the wisdom in this way, and then we can go to these places as they call us. And I really believe the stones and the earth and everything is coming forward.
Yeah.
So share some more, but also share with us then, like, about your deck, like how that came to you.
Yeah. Well, first I'm just going to finish this very short about the Cailleach, and then we'll move into the deck. So the Cailleach is a very, very ancient goddess. She is definitely pre-Celtic, and she is a creator goddess who created the hills and the valleys and the mountains in Scotland and England and Ireland. And she's called the Winter Queen. And she, in the spring, then, it's the breed or brigade, however you pronounce her name, comes forth. So they are kind of one and the same. And the Cailleach rules the dark half of the year. And so the way the tale goes is on Samhain Eve, which of course, it begins at sunset. So the night of the 31st, she rode on her sacred wolf through the night. And at the end of her journey, when she landed, she always had her rod, and she would stamp that on the earth, causing it to freeze. And she ushered in winter. And so I do have my painting of that to share with you.
Ooh, wow. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Let me see. I can put you. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that wolf. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's interesting because I probably pronounce it wrong. I think I call her the Cailleach or something. But usually she's seen more as an old woman, right, with a big cauldron or like big, like a cape that way. So I love how you have her more like vital, and moving.
Right. And
way.
She is shown in, a lot of times in visual, she is shown as, as very old. But in the stories, she can be whatever she wants to be. I mean, there's one story of her where, she in her old woman, really, old looking woman aspect would go to men, kings and men of power, and, ask them to pay some attention to her, and they never would. And then there was one man who did, and, she wanted to lay with them, and he did. And then she turned into a beautiful woman. And he was like, oh, wow. But he accepted her in her old form.
Right.
And then she revealed the true beauty that she always has.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, I'll move on to the deck now. Yeah. And I'll just show you, basically the deck is made of, I have 34 goddesses in it, and this is the back of it.
Beautiful.
And then, it's all kinds of different goddesses. And I actually ended up developing.
Sorry. I want you on there. I want to see you. I want to see these. Tiffany says gorgeous art.
Thank you. Anyway, it was back in 2012, I guess. I had written my first article for the Feminism and Religion blog, which I've been blogging regularly ever since, based on an experience I had when I'd gone to Chartres, if I'm pronouncing that right, in France, where I saw the Black Madonna. And
Church, yeah.
And at that time, I'm more than likely some of your followers are aware of Carol Christ, who was one of the foremothers of the goddess movement. She and I had become friends when I lived in Greece, where she ended up staying.
Wow.
And, you know, she passed away a couple of years ago. But anyway, she was very involved in this blog, with this blog and writing for this blog. And she urged me to write once a month. And I'm like, well, what the heck am I going to write about once a month? I'm a painter, not a writer. But I wanted to do it. And then she had written a post about Brigid, whichever the correct pronunciation is. How do you pronounce it, Nan?
Well, I think mostly Brigid. It's Brigid, if for people who are trying to figure out what we're saying, Brigid. Right. But in the British Isles, of course, that's what British Isles is named after. Right. Brigid's Isles. And then there's a Bridie in Glastonbury at the Goddess House. They say Bridie for the same. It's got a lot of pronunciations. Yes.
Yeah. I tend to say Brigid too, and then somebody kept correcting me that it was Breed, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Right. Whatever. Anyway, she had written this article, a post about Brigid, and I was very inspired by it, and I did a little painting, which is in my deck. I'll see if I can
show us, like, hold up your deck while you're talking so we can see them.
All right, I have to look through them all and find it. It'll probably be the last one I get to, of course.
Yeah, she has a nice little triquetra necklace. I've got one hanging here somewhere.
Oh yeah,
off of Thoth, I think.
So this was the very first card that I created for the deck. Not even knowing that I was going to create a deck at that point. I was just responding to the inspiration that I received from reading Carol's article on her. And then once I did that, and I had this task of writing once a month, I thought, well, I've always wanted to put together a goddess deck. Maybe I'll just do a goddess. And, people were telling me, oh, you can't do that. Nobody wants that kind of stuff. You're going to waste your time.
Aren't people just a big downer?
Yes, sometimes.
Seriously, like that's what I teach is like, don't agree to stories that people tell that are just not what you want to live. And it's just amazing. Even people who love you, they think they're helping you by telling you all kinds of negative shit.
I know, because they think you're going to waste your time or whatever. But anyway, I didn't care. I said, I don't care. It's what I want to do. If I never sell anything, it doesn't matter. I'm drawn to it. And so then I started working on goddesses, and it just so happened that they kept being Celtic goddesses. And then I went, well, I guess I'm doing a Celtic goddess deck. And it took me 5 years to create the deck, because I did all of the research. I did the writing. This is the guidebook that comes with the deck.
Beautiful.
And I also did all of the graphic design and got it print ready and sent it to the printers.
Yeah, it's a stunning amount of work. It took us 2 years, a little over 2 years, to get our deck out. And then we did one print run, and then we changed, and all the stuff you do. But I love how you said, like, I like to hear the story of like how it came through you, how it came to you, how you decided to do it, because, we know like an idea can come to a million people, and then who picks it up,
exactly,
who runs with it, who takes action on it, who uses it, like you said, well, I don't care, I'm going to do it because this is something I'm inspired to do. And what I love is that you didn't have an agenda like, oh, it needs to be done sooner. You actually, it's that perfect spiritual path of letting it unravel, letting it unfold, letting it be your guidance of your journey. Because that's what it was like to me. Is I started out with goddesses, and then it was like, we don't want it to be a deck with like Athena, Isis, exact name goddesses. It was, they embodied more of a feminine mystery, but the Celtic goddesses, like, I find that fascinating that you suddenly realize, like, they're all Celtic. This is very interesting. This is what I love this. Go on.
Well, and then the other thing is I mean, like, that's my heritage in my DNA. I already knew that I had a lot of Scottish ancestors, and I've, like you had seen in my little bio, I've always been attracted to mythology and mythological stories, but I didn't know anything about Celtic mythology. It's the naughty stepchild in Europe because they don't even teach it. It's Greek mythology that we learn. So I was into Greek and Egyptian and African, but and I loved it, but I couldn't get the same inner thing because it's not me, it's not my tradition. And so through the whole process of creating the deck, I learned about my own indigenous roots. And it connected me even more deeply then to the land, which then I was just like, I've got to get over there. And I did have the opportunity a couple of years ago. I went to Scotland, and it was such a deep experience to be there and connect with the land and see some of the ancient sites. And oh my God. But so it began with an inspiration from a story written by Carol Christ and got inside of me and then just turned into what it turned into.
And it's so beautiful because this is the way the universe works. I think that, at least for me, raised as an American, work hard and work harder and suffer a lot, and then maybe you'll be good enough, but just expect that that's your life. And you're always achieving, you're always striving, you're always trying to reach some kind of goal. And we're meant to come here and be provided for and not be greedy about whether, well, right now I don't have a lot, but I'm happy and I'm doing my creative stuff. Like, I've met so many artists here in the Yucatan, since I moved to Mexico 10 years ago, Americans and people from other places that moved here so they could do their art and afford to live without having to go like do baby pictures or something, like to have a second job. And there's nothing wrong if you do that. It's just that there's this beauty in following that path because it's your path. Like you said, you had your healing, then they spoke through you, they came together in divine timing, and now they're they're gorgeous. Show us some more. Show us some more.
Okay.
Some more. You have Lady of the Lake?
No, I don't. Who
you
would
have
be?
Morgan?
Well, I have the Morrigan, who
the Morrigan, I talked about her on Friday before my internet died.
Right, yes. But I wouldn't call her the Lady in the Lake.
No, she's not the lady. That's completely different. Yeah, Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that.
And you'll see that in my card of the Morrigan, I have, in addition to the wolf and the sword, because she's really a goddess of a war goddess in a lot of ways.
Yeah, she's like to stand up for yourself.
Yes, and though she herself never does any killing,
no,
she's just witnessing it.
Yeah.
But I do have on her hand right there a little white bird.
Oh, is that like a dove of peace or something?
Yeah. So it's like now in our time, we can envision a different way of working with the Morrigan.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's exactly what came through on Friday.
Oh, cool.
If anybody wants to rewatch the Samhain show, I came on early, and now I know why, because otherwise nothing would be there. And I channeled Hecate and the Morrigan for Samhain, and it was very much about seeing her in a different way. Yeah. Who else do you have?
Well, what I actually had done, I had drawn a card before coming on because I didn't want to go through all that with you guys. And I wanted to go a little bit more into depth with the card that I drew.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Because I think that she offers really amazing and wonderful wisdom for us today, at this time of moving into the darkness and the transformation and all of the transformations that are going on around us. And the card that I drew is the card Car. So you
I
can
love that. I'm not familiar with the name, but the swans and the spirals, beautiful. That's usually a Brigid sign, but she looks like she has bat wings.
Well,
Interesting.
it's swan. It's swan. Yeah.
Swan.
So
Oh,
first I'll tell you her story,
yeah.
and then I'll talk a little bit about the wisdom that she has to offer. But I think you'll begin to draw some of your own conclusions just from hearing her story. She's actually very ancient, very primordial, but there's not that much known about her. She's not she's not in any of the lineages of the various pantheons of the either the Tuatha De Danann or the Celtic lineages, but she's either a spirit or an ancient goddess that we don't exactly know her origins, but she's considered the goddess of dreams and prophecies today. And her name, which you can see, it's spelled like you might want to say it's K or something like Caer, is pronounced Car, and it is used in the front of places in much of the Celtic world. Like you'll see the goddess Ariantrad. Her home is called Car Ariantrad. So it's like the home of the goddess Ariantrad. So her influence, extends there also. But the way her story goes is, so as a goddess of dreams and prophecies, and she also is a goddess of sovereignty and self-determination, which really relates back to your meditation about that's what we're being called to now. She made her own decisions. She did her own thing. When she knew what she wanted, she went for it. And she had decided that she wanted Angus, the god of love, as her husband. So she began appearing to him in her dreams, and he was just smitten. Fell madly in love with her. But when he would wake up, she wasn't there. And he was very sad. And so then after a while of this, he just went to sleep and didn't wake up. Now, he is of the Tuatha De Danann, and his father was the Dagda, who is like the top honcho, and his mother was Boan, another very, very powerful goddess who is credited with creating the river Boan in Ireland. So anyway, he went to sleep finally, and he didn't wake up. And of course, time is going on, and everybody's getting very worried. He's like, needs to wake up here. And they spent, they called in his father and mother, the Dagda and Boan, to help. And they spent a year trying to figure out what was wrong with him. And they couldn't figure anything out. And then they went some other places and did some other things. And another year passed, and they still hadn't figured anything out. So finally, it was at the end of the third year that they discovered she was the daughter of, I don't know, his name's not important because I won't be able to pronounce it anyway, a king somewhere. And they went to him, and they, to ask for help, because they wanted her to be able to marry Angus. And so they went to him, and he said, look, there's nothing I can do to help you. She does what she wants. And the thing about, backing up a little bit, the thing about Car is she was a shape-shifting goddess, and she transformed into a swan and then back into a woman every year at Samhain.
Oh, beautiful.
At Samhain. And so the year that she would transform into a swan, then she would live out that year as a swan.
Oh, the whole year.
And then the next year she would transform back into a woman, and she would live out that year.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we're kind of not, when they finally figure out who she was and who to approach at the end of the third year, 3 being always a sacred number, right? And remember that Shlachta had 3 sons. So, that 3 is always coming up in Celtic mythology and all around the world, really. But anyway, so he told him, look, this is your only hope. You need to go to this particular lake, which is where this transformation takes place, on Samhain and pick her out among all of the other swans who are there,
Ah,
because she's always accompanied by 150 swans.
wow.
Yeah. And so they're like, okay, well, so that's what we have to do. So they go to do that. Now, in the mythology, there's a number of goddesses who can transform into seabirds and swans and different things. And one of the things that always lets you know it's actually a goddess is they're wearing a silver chain around their neck. And so you see the swan or the seabird in the sky with that silver chain. Well, it's a goddess, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Car didn't really want to make it easy because she wanted to be sure that he, was up to snuff for her.
Yeah.
So he gets there and there's all of these swans and they're all wearing chains around their neck.
I love it. True love? Okay, go for it.
Okay. So he's really starting to despair, like, oh my God, how am I going to pick her out? And then he noticed one swan beginning to swim toward him, and her chain was much more brilliant. And the swan, there was something, and he knew that was her, and he pointed her out. And then she told him, I will come to you as long as you agree that I can remain in the water whenever I want to.
I love it. Yeah,
and
nice.
So then they came together. He turned into a swan.
Beautiful.
And they flew off together to Brunabouan, which we today call Newgrange.
Newgrange. Oh, beautiful.
Which is where they lived happily ever after, transforming back and forth into swans and goddess and goddesses. And it is said that when they embraced and he turned into a swan and they flew away, a beautiful, haunting, ethereal music filled the air. And everyone who hears that now today, they go to that lake and they consider it the place to become engaged, to express your true love. And the people back in the day, they fell into an enchanted sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because sleep is such a magical concept for, in all realms and all traditions.
Right, right. And so, as we're moving into this dark time of year when we nurture our new beginnings and we're really letting go of what does not work anymore, and we can see the world all around us with all of its chaos and the dying throes of the old way, Car has a message for us of love and purity and dreams, listening to your dreams, prophecy, and self-determination.
Beautiful. And, that swan energy is such a powerful energy because even though they look very elegant, they're not fragile.
No, they're very, very powerful birds.
Very, very powerful birds. And they're similar, like, in South America, it might be the condor, right? Mm-hmm. In the US, it might be the bald eagle. There's different big birds that represent sacredness, and the swan is one of them. Even though they don't fly a lot, they have such amazing power. And I love it when I go to London and go into Hyde Park and there's this huge pond with all these swans, and I get some feathers and they're swimming, and sometimes they're going in a little line and they're walking around, and it just feels like being bathed in this energy. It's just so beautiful.
Well, and they are such symbols of love and partnership and also nurturing. They really are amazing parents. They take care of their young together. And they are monogamous and they mate for life.
I love it. I love all of that. And what I really love about this is that you have the idea of the home, like she represents home for divine, for different divinities. It almost is a representation of like she can create that sacred space for you to feel home in. To come back to that love. And I personally think, like, how fabulous is that? Like, half the year I get to be a swan and half the year I get to be a human. I could do that. I could do that as a cat. especially my cat. I would love to be a cat for part of the time. I'm okay with that.
I know what you mean. I've said that myself. Cats love to sleep.
Cats just love everything. They don't have any hesitation of asking for what they want, leaving their bodies, coming, going, whatever. Yay, I want it. I don't want it. Now I'm done. Now I'm here. Like, it's the best.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Now,
You're welcome.
people can get your deck at your website, right?
Yes, you'll find it. My website is all divided into categories. So there's like prince, and you can see prince animals, prince goddesses, and then you get to originals, and there's one section that is originals, oracle decks, and the fairy tale.
Perfect. Oh gosh. Well, I'm going to go do that later. Like one evening, I'm going to just go through your website like a little wonderful outing in a magical fairy place and see what all you have, because just based on your art and who you are, what you say, like you're living this. I love that. I love that you're living it, that it's part of your path. It's your light. And then you're doing this as, like you're being the channel for this, such beautiful things. And like, even just like what you have behind you, I'll be like, wow, I gotta look at how I love creating that art. My husband does the art for my cards.
Oh, great. Well, I really appreciate what you said about, mentioning channel, because I really do feel like that's what I'm doing when I'm painting. And for that reason, I always forget to sign my work. I don't, it's like, okay, it's done, move it over. And because I don't think of it as mine, but of course I know the world we live in, and ultimately I sign them because that's what's required. But it's just like it flows through me, and I'm just honored to have that be my path in life.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing your beautiful work and for coming here. And I look forward to playing together again.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. So we have already gone quite a while. So I'm thinking of saving Shannon's sound healing and doing that again in a different show. That way you can get the abundance activation that I did in the beginning. You can get all this wonderful wisdom from Judith and our Celtic Goddess car. I'm gonna spend a little time with that. That's beautiful. It's wonderful to have new energies come through that you're not familiar with, and that's why I love all the ancient information too. I do want to remind you that there's 2 retreats coming up, and they're very, very powerful. They're here. I'm going to be back in England next year. I might be in San Francisco. I don't know what else is happening, but in December, if you feel called, now is the time to come, because the Mayan wisdom keeper and the lady that channels Lady Sakuk, somebody mentioned her. Those shows are here on the channel. They've invited me to be a part of this beautiful retreat. We're each going to be leading a day. We're going to be working together. We're going to be on a beach. We're going to watch the sunset. We're going to do sunset drumming. It's really profound, because this is a soft, beautiful experience that gives you a place to decide what's coming next before you go into this year, because the energies really are going to pick us up and take us really, really fast. So the super full moon, enjoy the energies of the super full moon. It's an abundant full moon. It's a Taurus full moon, and let black moon Lilith give you that strength to look underneath this illumination. But I'm looking forward to tonight repeating the activation I did in the beginning. And also, if you still want to join the 20 Days of the Ancestors, I would recommend that you do it. It's turning into something quite exceptional. I always know it's going to be exceptional, and that isn't an ego thing, because I'm, like she said, I'm really the channel for this. And I've followed my path and listened and learned so much stuff, but I pull stuff out of my head, but mostly this is channeled. And when the ancestors said, okay, we want to teach you alchemy, and we want to teach you how to realize everything is already, the abundance is here. You're not seeking abundance, okay? You need to transmute, you change whatever you're seeing. If you don't like it, just take it. Don't get rid of it. Don't hate it. Don't reject it. Bring it in and change it. okay, and use the powers to help you. So grandmother Ishmokane, who lives the Jaguar grandmother, and Ishel are guides, and they're really taking us deeply into lovingly transmuting and transforming every day. We are, and I did not know this was how it was going to be revealed. The ancestors are showing up every day, and we are following the day signs of the sacred Mayan calendar. So today is Ik, which means wind. It's the number 13. The numbers are sacred feminine energies. The day signs are sacred masculine energies. And if you've never heard of this in your life, like most people, it is one of the most powerful, fascinating, love-filled, conscious ways of figuring out who you are and what are the energies, what is the spiritual weather of the day. So, I usually do spiritual weather reports. I bring in Donna, our beautiful tropical Western astrologer, and she also does, of course, Feng Shui and Chinese astrology. And we're going to be doing a celebration at the change of the year, again with Neil at Portal to Ascension. I'm co-producing an event with many different, not many, like with a handful of different speakers, closing out the year of the snake and opening up the year of the fire horse. Now, what do we have? We have a couple of months before that happens. Doesn't happen until pretty much February, I think, end of January, February or something. And so we have November, December, and January. And we have, so these 3 months are very powerful right now. And this super full moon is saying abundance in all material ways. This is the perfect time to go in and transmute what you're saying. We are being in the 20 days of the ancestors sacred alchemy class. We go in and we do an activation every single day. We call on and understand the energies of the wind or fire or north or this goddess or this person. The sun, we've done the sun, we've done the obsidian mirror to see the reflections. We've called on the sun, we've called on the deep subconscious. That was 1313. I just looked at. Wow, that's interesting. So there's these powers are coming in, and even though I didn't know exactly how the ancestors were going to speak, and they're giving us these words, these tools, these simple things to do, these activations, they go to the mind, they go to the emotion, they're going to every level of our being, but they're all wrapped up. And we have some learning, some training, but then we go into the experience of it. We go into embodying it. We go into the practical aspect of it. And I'm getting messages from people in the class, private messages and videos and voice messages of wow, and how profound it is and how deep it is and how the mysteries of the Mayan magic are just blowing their mind and changing their paradigm. And that's what I want for you. So if you want to join, you'll get all of them and you can just join us. It's a daily thing, but many people work. So, we had some people joining on the weekend that aren't here live during the week. It doesn't matter. You will get it within an hour or two of us doing it in the morning. And then you can repeat it that day anytime you want. So in the meantime, contact me if you feel called to either one of our retreats. And we have the beautiful one in December. And we also have, let me see here. Yes, we have the one in March. And this is going to be like really a one-time only, combining Maria with Miguel, the wisdom keeper, with all the places we're getting access to, with the ceremonies, with the ability to go with Maria for the first time to these sites, to decode, to analyze what they are, to look for the similarities and connections to Egypt. It's really quite profound. And I feel very honored to be able to have both Maria and Miguel Angel coming together. You're going to get me at these sites channeling what I know, what I do, what I'm bringing in the sacred wisdom. We're going to have Miguel Angel helping us do ceremonies in places people can't get to. We're going to be going into the sacred sites and he's going to be feeding us the wisdom. We're going to be at Chichen Itza when the very first day of the sacred solar serpent comes down and nobody else knows it. So there won't be a crowd and we will be chanting the sacred chant. So the ability to get to these sites, to go to these places in this way is profound. And then we're going to be at these sites with Maria and we're going to be looking at the alignments to other sacred places and other temples and portals and earth energies. And believe me, everything is going to be delicious and beautiful and comfortable and fantastic. And you're going to be on a major sacred journey of transformation. So we've got the itinerary on here. We're happy to send you it. We're happy to give you logistics to help you where you fly. Just remember, to ask. Okay, ask for help. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And make sure that you're subscribed at nanakasha.com so that we can share with you the replay for this. And when I will come back, it'll be in the next day or two. We'll come back with the recording from Shannon Brown. It's gorgeous, like 25-minute, 30-minute sound bath. And if you haven't experienced her, she's incredible. And so we'll probably bring it in the next few days because it's relevant to this week, to going into the darkness before we go into the solstice. And so I want to thank again to Judith and to Shannon and to all the energies. And we're going to give great thanks to the sacred temple, to this full moon, to all of our divine guides, and to this moment, to the Celtic goddess, to the goddesses of all traditions, to the divine feminine that is rising within us. May this circle be open, yet unbroken, and the peace of the goddess go with us. The beauty of the full moon illuminate our path, and the prosperity of this Taurus full moon and the illumination of our crowns. We receive it, we accept it, we embody it, we allow it, and now walk into your day as that radiant light. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. I love you. Namaste.